Welcome to the Market Mindset. We are the hub for news, results, and CEO interviews focusing the junior commodities sector. We provide market analysis and perspective that will help position you for solid returns. If that sounds like something you're interested in, you can help support us by liking this video, subscribing to our channel, and clicking the notification bell. For more info, you can visit our website. All links are in the description below. Now let's get into today's video.
Good morning, everyone. It's Andrew with the Market Mindset. We're catching up with President, Founder, and CEO of ACME Lithium, Steve HANSON. How are you doing today?
I'm great, Andrew. A pleasure to be here with you today.
Yeah, it's great to catch up. I mean, lithium is, it's hot. It's not going to slow down, even though we might have ebbs and flows. But oh my gosh, if they're going to do this big green push, what a sector to be in. And you've got some great news you just released as well. But lots happening. Tell me how you're doing and how things look.
Well, I just say, Andrew, from a macro standpoint, it's been a very interesting time for battery metals, in particular lithium, as well as nickel. And in the EV sector, we're seeing continued growth. Lithium prices have surged around 500% in the last 12 months. We're seeing continued increases in EV orders in the US. EV demand was up over 100% in 2021, over 150% in Europe, and we're seeing huge interest and growth, obviously, in Asia as well, in particular in China. But the core issue really is the investment theme of why I founded this company is that lithium is a core metal, a soft, lightweight metal that is absolutely necessary to run our lives on a daily basis, whether it be our phones or our laptops, our tablets, and our EV vehicles. It's a commodity that's in need. And the biggest issue that we find in North America is there's a lack of supply that is being domestically produced. As many of your investors may know, most of the lithium currently is produced in only a handful of countries, places like Australia, China, Chile, and Argentina, and there's a very little supply that's being produced in Canada and the US. So that's really the core reason why I started this company a year and a half ago. And we've been moving very, very quickly to try to keep up. And ultimately, our goal here is to meet some of that demand that's here in Canada and the United States. When I started this company, we acquired our first project in Nevada, in Fish Lake Valley. We then acquired our second project in Clayton Valley, which really is the epicenter of development for lithium in the United States. But we didn't rest on our laurels there. We moved on and acquired two projects in southeast Manitoba, where there's a huge development going on by a number of companies and is near an existing mine that's been producing lithium, cesium, and tantalum since 1969. So, we've been fortunate. I'd like to think that we've been lucky with our timing, but at the same time, I believe from an investment theme standpoint that this is a sector that I certainly need to be in, and certainly for our shareholders, hopefully we can deliver on milestones over the next year or two.
Wow, I couldn't agree more. And I love the fact that you've got, people that subscribe to me know all about Nevada and how easy it is to work there. It's mining friendly, and we get it. What I really like is this addition too of Manitoba, because I know that Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Alberta has been opening up a little bit to the change in theme and energy. And for Canada to have a play in the lithium market is pretty exciting. It's pretty wild. Because people can kind of get it when they think of like South America or even the States. They go, okay, I could see that being a lithium deposit, but knowing that there is some in Canada as well, not only does it kind of meet a domestic demand, but also means that some of these freight costs and some of the transportation costs that are being skyrocketing can be managed a lot better, and certainly not having to send things off on across the ocean, where we've seen like 6 to 7 times price go up on cargo ships. So tell us a little bit more about each project and how they look and what scale and what size they are and where they are developmentally wise, or exploration wise.
Well, I'll start with Clayton Valley, because that's really our core project in the United States. We did 2 phases of geophysics on that project. in the fall of 2021. What's interesting about our project is we're actually contiguous to Albemarle, New York Stock Exchange listed company that has been producing and lithium there since 1966. It's one of the only places in the US, or in fact North America, where lithium has been continuously produced. And we actually are their neighbor to the northwest. A number of other companies state that they're a neighbor, but they're 50 miles or 25 miles away. We actually are contiguous to their project. I can throw a football from our property over into their brine ponds. And so we are very excited about this particular project. I was able to secure that from a private owner that had been holding on to it for close to a decade. And again, we're very excited about what's upcoming here very soon. We've received approval from the Bureau of Land Management on our notice of intent to drill. There's some additional permitting that we're working on right now. We will be mobilizing very soon with drill rigs, and we expect to be drilling at Clayton Valley sometime in mid to late April of 2022. So we've got near-term milestones here that could be significant for our company. We've been working diligently on making sure that we can meet those timelines. And again, our expectation is we're going to be drilling in lithium brine in Clayton Valley sometime in April, possibly early May, but we're hopeful it's going to be April here in the short term. So very excited about that particular project, and really it could be a game changer for us as we build our business. Manitoba, as you mentioned, is a very exciting region. We spent months investigating this region as an area where we wanted to enter into. I spent June, July, and August there with our technical team analyzing the region and its history. Again, we were able to secure a very large land position, almost 12,000 acres in 2 separate projects. There's massive pegmatite fields throughout that region. Those are host bodies that host a hard rock spodumene, which contains lithium in that area. And it's continuing to attract significant attention globally. In particular, MRL, a multi-billion-dollar company out of Australia that's, I believe, the 6th largest producer of lithium in the world, has just invested in that region in one of our neighbors. And again, we're seeing Lithium Royalty Corporation and a number of others from an institutional level invest in this region as an up-and-coming area for potential lithium production down the road. The Tanko mine is our neighbor to the south, and also our neighbor to our north. Our two projects actually are on the north side and the south side of the Tanko mine. So again, there's been a long history of producing lithium and cesium and tantalum there for a number of years. A Chinese company bought that project a number of years ago and is continuing to advance it. So I'm working on an exploration strategy for Manitoba right now. We'll have boots on the ground in there in May, and an extensive program that will go throughout May all the way into late fall of 2022. So we'll deploy capital there with a major program happening in Manitoba. And again, we'll continue to invest and advance our projects in Nevada.
And you'd mentioned Lithium Royalty Corp, and they're a significant name. I mean, I've talked to a number of lithium people out there, and that's really, they really know their stuff. So it's always good when they're on board. And congratulations as they put money into, along with Orata Capital. That's a significant investor in the project, and your highlights of what you're telling us is pretty clear what they found attractive. And also the near stage, drilling, that's exciting too. So for anyone who's watching, who's curious, there's going to be lots of news flow, and there's going to be, in pretty soon, pretty quick.
Well, as you say, we were fortunate to attract this strategic investment from Lithium Royalty Corporation as well as Waratah. They have a great reputation, and obviously they know their stuff. They're investing in this particular commodity around the world. I believe they've made 17 investments so far to date in their particular fund. So we're very fortunate that we were able to attract them, and I believe that they've invested in us. Not just because of the quality of our projects, but because of our team's background and really our overall strategy in growing our business over time. So, this really shores up our capital. We had just over $3 million in capital prior to this investment. We will have about 7.2 million Canadian in the bank and no debt. And really, we don't have huge commitments from property payments and those kind of things that are upcoming. So we can deploy majority of that capital in the ground and ultimately, hopefully, create value for our shareholders. We've got a low burn rate, low G&A, a small team. And again, we're in very good position to advance these projects through 2022 and 2023.
Excellent. Yeah, I was going to, kind of ask, like, how long will this carry you? And it sounds like, I mean, roughly speaking, a year. Of course, anything can change. And if you get some great results, then you can always come back. But the ball's in your court. To have the cash on hand is fantastic. As far as crews, you've got your crews all lined up. Have you had any challenges? We're still kind of getting over COVID and whatnot, but getting crews to drill and all that, is that being seamless, or any issues?
It's a busy time. There is lots of activity out there. There are a lack of good technical people and consultants and firms available. But I've been in this business for 30 years. I've been around every cycle, and so we just need to get in the front end of that. We've been preparing and planning with my technical team in the U.S. and in Canada to make sure that we meet those milestones. There's no guarantees, but I'm pretty comfortable in our timelines in what we can accomplish. Again, the key here is to secure the best people possible and crews possible who understand the region, have worked there before, and ultimately can deliver in appropriate timelines. So, we have to be patient as management, and as a result, our shareholders have to be a little patient too. It is moving. There are moving targets here with COVID and other issues that we're facing around the world, but we're pretty comfortable with our abilities to make sure that we can plan accordingly and hopefully meet milestones on time.
Excellent. And you kind of brought up as well, I mean, when we've got certainly chaotic world issues happening, and that caused a lot of supply chain issues. And especially we've seen, nickel coming out of Russia, to be able to really leap forward and have domestic companies finding, hopefully, resources that are critical. Like you're saying, there isn't any way around it. Like, if we're going to continue operating and growing technology, we need to have a supply and a consistent supply. And I think a lot of analysts think by 25 that supply demand is outstretched and starts gapping out. So if we don't have projects coming online fairly quickly and resources being developed and that can be developed, and not to put words in your mouth, you've got a great next door neighbor that I imagine if you can prove that thing up, anything's possible. And it's nice to have a giant only producer, Albemarle, as a producing right now, that I'm sure would be an interested party if you guys start hitting some milestones quickly.
Well, you've made a good point there, Andrew. Obviously, with what's happening with the energy market here, considering the conflict that's happening in the Ukraine, we're going to see continued interest in electric vehicles, obviously, with the price of gasoline and so forth. I mean, that may change, but certainly for the near term, we're going to see continued demand. And I founded this company on the basis that we need a North American supply. I mean, that was my investment thesis in building this business. We have focused on the US and in Canada. North America can't rely on foreign supply, although certainly there is going to be some supply available in other regions around the world. We can't rely on it, and we need to, at a government level, at a regulatory level, at a state and municipal level, at all stakeholder level, communities and so forth. We need to make sure that we back these projects so that we have a future supply for our needs. And again, our philosophy at ACME Lithium is that we've got the right market right now. Again, we've got great prices in the commodity. Ultimately, if we were able to produce it, I think that could mean that our projects certainly could do well for shareholders down the road and attract strategic investors. We've got the right address. Again, our projects in Nevada are near a producing lithium mine. I mean, that's the best places to find lithium, is where it's already being produced. The same with Manitoba. Our projects are north and south of an existing lithium mine. So we've got the right addresses in North America, and then we've got the right team. We've got people that have advanced projects on all 4 continents around the world. We know these regions well. We know what we're doing as a team, and again, hopefully we can deliver for our shareholders. So we've got the right market, we've got the right addresses, and we've got the right team. And again, I think that's a great 3 pillars that we can build this business on.
Excellent. I couldn't agree more, and I really appreciate you coming on and keeping us up to date. there's going to be news ahead, so we'll keep our eyes peeled on it, and we look forward to your drill season here. I'm sure it'll go smoothly, and we're looking forward to those results. It's coming up in a hurry, and I really appreciate you taking the time. I know you're very, very busy. So thank you so much, Steve Hansen. I really appreciate it. ACME Lithium, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll speak to you again soon.
Thank you, Andy. Really appreciate it, and we'll talk soon.